So speaking of things that sound like they're made up, this article comes to us from Vice. It says Maryland license plates now inadvertently advertising Filipino online casino. If that is not a sitcom episode, I don't know what is. So it says there's a URL printed on these license plates that were like the default license plate that was issued for a couple of years, I think. And basically, it's just that the domain is different now, right? It doesn't lead to the same website anymore. It takes you to some Filipino gambling site, it sounds like.
So, like many companies and public organizations, Maryland is learning a valuable lesson, which is if you buy a domain and you put it somewhere, like in Hollywood does this all the time, right? They buy a domain and they put it in a movie, right? And then you don't renew.
It then becomes available again, right, Don?
And someone else can register it, and that's exactly what happened. So Maryland had a custom plate celebrating the War of 1812, which I don't really recall, but I think we lost the War of 1812, didn't we?
Was that the British and the Canadians?
Yeah. I don't think that was a good war. Oh, no, I mean, not that there's a lot of great, great wars.
I like my wars. I
think they were celebrating the. Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting the national anthem.
Yes. Andrew Scott Key, the national anthem.
Yeah,
Star Spangled Banner.
Star Spangled Banner. Thank you. I am embarrassed for forgetting the name of that. Where he wrote it, because he was watching this battle. At the bottom of the license plate,
he watched it on YouTube.
They put www.starspangled200.org. So it was the 200th anniversary of the Star Spangled Banner. Which I guess I could have read right off the screen instead of being embarrassed for not remembering.
Reading's dumb, Don.
Well,
true.
Apparently they only bought the domain for 2 years. And after 2 years, their registration ran up.
But the license plates still stick around.
They do. And for many, many years. Many people have a license plate here in the U.S. for over 10 years. And now, if you go to, I don't advise you do this, but if you go to starspangled200.org, you will learn about how if you deposit $100, they will credit you $250.
Oh, what site is this?
So that you can jump in and gamble today.
I like gambling. What's wrong with gambling? Especially online. It's the best kind of gambling, man.
I have seen this so many times, and I'm always amused when I watch, my kids will be watching a cartoon. Scooby-Doo does this a lot, where they'll talk about a website in the cartoon, and then you go and punch it into a browser, and sure enough, Warner Brothers has bought it. Like, it just points to Warner Brothers or whatever. They know that people are going to type in those domains, so they buy them and just hold on to them. That makes a lot of sense. But if they don't renew it, over time, these URLs start to point to bad places. We've seen this with QR codes where it's even more damaging. Here, it's a URL on a license plate. I think it just goes to show that companies should not be so quick to buy new domains and instead leverage subdomains and subdirectories and things that you maintain control over for a long period of time.
Yeah. That's a true story right there, ladies and gentlemen. No, even though there is subdomain takeovers and stuff like that still is a thing, but it's definitely the more secure way to go about stuff.
Yeah, so I'm thinking there's drive-by malware attacks.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah,
where if somebody can just come to a website, they can get infected. But the trick is, how do you get people to come to the website? Yeah. Well,
if we couple this with the new .tar and .zip thing, right?
Oh yeah,
the .zip domains.
TLDs.
Yeah. Right. It was not .tar, .zip, and the other one was
.mp4.
MP4.
That's .mov.
Was it?
Well, yeah, it was MOV.
.mov.
Okay,
You're right.
Gotcha.
So what would be really interesting here is if you could go to GoDaddy or Cloudflare or somebody who's a DNS registrar that has an API, could you query a list of domains that are about to expire, right? I'm pretty certain you can. And
now you got me thinking.
And when a domain expires, it goes into a grace period. And the grace period is, I forget how long, it's like 60 days, not long.
Yeah.
So could you query a list of domains that are in the grace period and look for ones that have been receiving traffic? I'm certain you can do this because I've run into old software applications where you try and go to their website and now it's malware, typo squatting, whatever. But if you want to stage a good attack,
you could build a scraper with Python pretty quickly to do that because, like you said, it's got API. So you just look at the API, look at how that what it returns to you as far as information, and then see if there's anything that would lead you to think, oh, yeah, this is in a grace period, or this is completely an open domain, so go for it. And then, program me some outputs and then automate all that action to create a file of, here's a bunch of domains that you can go buy for the low, low price of.
I have to imagine somebody's already done this, right?
I guarantee it. Just look in GitHub or something.
Somebody's already made
Look
this.
up, go to GitHub and look up expired domain scraper.
Oh, here we go. Expireddomains.net.
There's a website for it?
Expireddomains.net. 527 TLDs supported and rising. You can pull a list of expired domains, and apparently it just gives you a random list here. It just spit out 25 for me, but you can query it. It says there are 230,000 domains in the list. So you could find a domain that's expired that had some kind of traffic before.
Yeah.
Some of these...
Can you search out, like kind of grep it?
It's got a search field. What do you want to search for?
I don't know. Look up
Microsoft. No, nothing.
Well, look up.
I had to create an account.
See, your
you
web
got me.
scraper wouldn't need an account.
True. Well, I think this is a valid attack vector. Would this fall under social engineering?
Yeah, it would totally fall under social engineering.
So, another tool in the hacker's toolbox, and something you have to defend against. All it takes is a spreadsheet to keep track of when your domains expire and make sure you renew them.
Email reminder, right?
Set a little reminder on your phone, your
Yeah.
productivity app or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm curious how you resolve something like this, because there's like 800,000 of these plates that are being used currently, and that's printed on there. You can't take it off. So what is it? Just like, sorry?
I do know this. Since it's the government, it will have a lot of bureaucracy and cost way too much.
No, they're going to move super fast.
No.
Yeah.
So they have a couple options here, right? Option one, they could reach out to the casino and buy the domain back,
That's true.
right? And a casino is going to want to make some money.
Yeah.
And so the state would have to come out with some taxpayer dollars, which they probably won't want to do. It's like the equivalent of paying a ransom.
Especially since you know they're getting this traffic.
Yeah.
You know that they know that they're getting this traffic.
Option two is to ignore it, which seems like a normal government response, but it's not painful enough. So let me give you what I think will happen.
Okay.
The state of Maryland will recall these license plates.
Yeah.
And so,
Like I said, a bunch of bureaucracy and too much money.
Yep. And so everybody who has these plates will likely have to get a new one issued, and that's the right thing to do. They can't have this casino advertisement driving around. It's not going to do.
And hopefully next time they will
No.
not print a URL.
Option 4, we invade the Philippines.
We already have, haven't we?
More. We invaded more. Hot war in the Philippines. There's a drone strike on this casino right now.
The whole point of this, the URL and like the website in the first place, was to commemorate the anniversary of the War of 1812. So they're just commemorating the anniversary with another war.
That's right.
all.
It's the
What
war
better
of
way to celebrate?
2023.
Start a new
Yeah,
war.
doesn't quite
Doesn't
line
ring
up.
out. Yeah, doesn't roll off the tongue. Like
We'll have to workshop it.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
I mean, we've already sent troops, but
We did just announce we're building like 4 more bases in the Philippines.
are we really?
Yeah, it's like crazy militarization.
Well,
They know. They're hearing this
I don't
conversation.
know if you
They're
know
preparing.
this, but there's some threats to our democracy in that area of the world. So
Yeah. Well, as someone who was born in the Philippines, I support Filipino casinos.
Not just Filipino casinos. The Philippines' best betting site.
that's right.
Self-described.
Best betting.
The
site. I
best
mean, you
betting
register, you deposit 100.
Yeah.
You get 250.
Doesn't say what you get.
No, just
Deposit 100, you receive 250.
yeah.
This
chickens.
this is a more caring, thoughtful casino, because if you deposit $100, they'll give you 250. That's generosity.
That is really.
If you did deposit 100 chickens and get 250 chickens back, you'd still be getting 250 bucks.
That's
I'm sorry.
my
We'll
goodness.
move on before I make it worse. I'm sorry. I have to
I
apologize.
feel
for
uncomfortable now.
that. Okay. I'm doing my best. All right. Somebody's got to be funny.